Are you tired of seeing minimal results from your marketing efforts, no matter how much time and money you put into them? Well, today is a game changer because I'm going to share with you the story of how I created my first automated marketing funnel that really catapulted this business to a seven-figure empire. Now, this just isn't a story, it is your potential roadmap to get you out of frustration and into massive growth. So hang on in as we do our dance party and kick off this week's Strategy with Sally.
You're stronger than the others think, and who cares if you might miss it? Go ahead and shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You're stronger than the others think, and who cares if you might mess it up? Shine, go ahead and shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Strategy with Sally. I'm your host, Sally Sparks Cousins. I'm your in-house automation nerd, and I love me some sexy numbers. But today, I thought I would share the story about how I created this amazing seven-figure empire using and starting with one simple funnel. I dialed it in and I measured it and I optimized it until it became a lead generating machine. So let me know if you're listening to this out on the live stream or the podcast, whereabouts you're listening from in the big wide world. This is our weekly live. So I go live here on YouTube every single Tuesday, 9 a.m. Melbourne time. Smart people Google. And also you will find me on other social media platforms streaming as well, like Facebook, LinkedIn, but honestly, best place to head is YouTube because you can turn on that little bell, you can get that notification, and then you will also be able to see your name on screen unless you're like Facebook user. If you're on the podcast, I just want to let you know that on the podcast, today is going to be a visual lesson. I'm going to try and explain it to you in a way that you can still listen on the podcast. But if you want a better experience for today, then you're probably best to hunt down this episode over on YouTube. shoot us a DM. We'll let you know where it is, and you'll be able to see the pretty pictures because I got myself a whiteboard all set up for today. You see, when I started this business, I knew it took me a little while to know, but you need to grow your email list. So let me know out there if you're on the live stream, are you consistently growing your email list? Now, don't be shy. Let's get honest, get out those tippy tap fingers and let me know. Are you actively growing your email list? You see, it's all well and good to be out on all the socials, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all those likes, followers, and subscribers. They're really just vanity metrics. I call it like building your business on other people's land. What if one of these social media platforms that you have been growing all your likes and your follows and your subscribers on decides to go away one day? Anyone heard of MySpace? Right? What if it just disappears? It will take your entire list and audience that you may have spent many countless hours and money growing. This is why it's super important for you to grow your email list, because you will always have access to the email list. Now, everybody pretty much who has the internet has an email address. There's so many things you can do with an email address, not just send emails. There's all sorts of retargeting you can do, segmentation to make that customer experience amazing and really clearer and more engaged with an email list, because we can start to segment our audience. But more than that, your email list actually equates to dollars to your bank account. Now, I went to a conference years and years ago, and somebody on stage said, every one email equates to about $1 to your bank account every month. And back then I only had maybe 1,000 emails, and I thought, yeah, whatever. Now, it didn't really show true until I started kind of growing it to 2, 3, 4,000. Then all of a sudden, it really started to equate. One email equals $1. Now, give or take a few $100s here and there, but it really does start to equate to your bank account. So if you're not growing your email list, today is your time to actually take real action towards that, because that email list is not just a bunch of names. They're beautiful humans on the other side who want and need your help, or they would not have raised their hand for saying, hey, I'm going to give you my email address in order to get some sort of free content. So that's what I'm going to talk to you today about, is the one funnel that I did spend a lot of time on in the early days. It was the most simplest one. It's something that we have our clients do over 3 days, like build the entire funnel out together. But I'm going to give you the overview so that you can then model it in your business to then not just grow an email list, but to nurture and convert them as well. So now I'm going to head on over to my whiteboard. Are you ready? Are you excited? Let me know in the chat. Are you ready to learn how one funnel allowed me to start scaling and growing my business and also growing my bank account? All right, so let's head on over to the whiteboard. So as you all know, if you've been following me for any length of time, this is our framework. It's the Freedom Funnel Formula, and it's made up of 7 major stages. So the first stage is the vision stage, where we put together our vision. The next stage is designing what your offer is. So your high ticket offer, including your method, your program, and all the inclusions. Then you need to build a freebie, something that you give away in order to grow your email list. And then you also need to use technology to build it. So that's stage 3. Stage 4 is filling it. So your marketing and your messaging when you put it out there to people. Stage 5 is to sell it. So now we're into the sort of sales, overcoming objections. How are you going to sell? Then, of course, delivering and onboarding your clients and delivering the actual content or the program to them. And finally, optimizing and evergreening so that you can scale it. But today we can't go over everything. Today, the main thing we're going to look at first is this section here. So we're going to have a look at your signature offers, your method, your coaching program or course. Then how are we going to build a funnel? The build it section really is the funnel. So if we were to rewrite this, instead of a live event, we're actually going to be using a PDF. Okay, instead of a live event is a PDF. Then you've got the marketing and then the selling. All right, so those are the main stages we're going to look at today. But the thing we're going to spend most of our time in is this one here, okay? The technology. Because when we're building out tech and automation, it is the thing that works in the background. It's your team in a box. It's the thing that's going to help you grow your business and nurture those beautiful humans until they're ready to get help and raise their hands. Not all of them, but at any given time, 2% of your audience are ready to buy from you, right? And if you don't keep showing up, you don't keep sending emails, then they might just forget about you. All right, so let's think about the design it stage, okay? So you will have an offer, okay? And what I want you to do is think about what it is that you help people do. There are many problems that you solve inside your coaching or training program, correct? Let me know in the chat if you're here live, what's one problem that you solve? Get out those tippy tap fingers, let us know. And with that one problem, what I want you to do is, let's say inside your program, you've got all of these different steps that you take people through, lots of mini problems that you solve to get them from the A, which is the problem that they join you with, and then the Z, which is the transformation, the outcome. Now, within that, there'll be one little problem that you will be able to solve, and we're going to turn that problem into a PDF, okay? We're going to turn it into a little PDF that they can download. Now, on this PDF, there's two things I want you to do with the PDF. One is tell them how to solve the problem. Actually, help them. Funny that, right? Because think about how big your program is. And inside of this PDF, I want you to solve one of the problems. Actually help them. It's amazing, right? We're actually going to give help. Funny thing is, do you know that only 20% of people that receive the PDF will actually open it and read it? Pretty crazy, right? But when you give something away for free, chances are, they're not really going to value it. But hey, those 20% of people that do read, you have the potential now to truly help. So, as well as creating that PDF and solving one actual problem, the next thing you want to do is you want to put an intro page on it. So tell them what is the problem you're going to solve inside of this PDF. And on the last page of the PDF, you are going to put a call to action. What is the next logical step that you want them to take after they have gone through the PDF to solve one particular problem, okay? So an intro page telling them what they're going to get inside the PDF and how you're going to help them. Inside that, actually solve the problem, give them something to do in order to solve it. And finally, a call to action on the end of the PDF, leading them back into your funnel. So that's what we're going to do first. Have you chosen? Right? Just pick one problem. All right. Then what we're going to do is, that's really just a little bit of stage 2, right? We've taken a little bit out of our major program and we've turned it into a downloadable PDF. Then we need to take that PDF and we need to turn it into a tech stack or a funnel. Okay, we're going to build out a funnel. Then once we build the funnel, you are going to need to think about communicating that message out to an audience. So you're going to run some ads or you're going to promote it on social media, and then you're going to ask, right? Ask for the sale. So we're going to dive deeper into this, and you can see building the funnel is phase 3. This is where a lot of work happens the first time you build it. But you do not want to keep changing the PDF. That is probably not the problem why you're converting. If you're not converting well, it won't be the PDF, it'll be your messaging, okay? Which is how you're actually marketing that PDF. All right, so don't keep going making more PDFs. Like, really dial in that marketing funnel. So most of your time is going to be spent building this the first time. And then you're going to measure and optimize each of the different points through the funnel. So before we dig into actually showing you how to build out the funnel, I want to explain a couple of the graphics that I'm going to share with you so that you can understand how an actual customer journey happens through the graphic that I'm going to draw for you. So when we're designing inside of software, a lot of the software we use is Keep, okay? And you'll have a goal, okay? So this is called a goal. So as I'm drawing out these images, the goal will be a circle. Now, what is a goal? A goal is something that we want to do. Now, usually I like to call it an action that a human has taken, okay? Whether they've purchased or clicked or put their email in, or they've booked an appointment, or they have had a conversation with you, right? In one of the DMs. That is an action a human has taken. There are different goals we want to achieve in order to progress that person closer to the sale. Okay, now the other thing that you'll notice as we're drawing this out is what can be automated. Now, automation is lots of different things, but you'll see me draw them in rectangles. So it'll either be like a rectangle, like a landing page, like a computer screen, or it'll be a long vertical or horizontal. I can never remember which one is what, but they'll be rectangles. Now, within these rectangles are usually technology, okay? It will be landing pages and emails and text messages and booking pages, okay? So your goal is an action a human has taken, and the automation, these are tech. It's your tech stuff that all works together. All right, we got that? Yes, get those tippy tap fingers out. Let us know. Awesome. All right. So let's go down a little further now and start to think about building out this funnel. Now, we have this PDF, right? You've created this PDF here. Okay. And now we need to put it into a funnel. And then once we put it into a funnel, we need to put it in front of people. So the first goal, as in the customer journey, it's a little bit, I'm just going to digress a little bit. What I'm going to draw for you isn't always the way in which you build it, okay? I'm going to draw for you in the way in which a customer goes through the experience of, getting closer to you, but also I'm going to try and explain to you, what comes first, all right? Because it's like when you build a car, right? The user experience is you've got a key, you click the button, the doors open, you sit in a chair, you put your seatbelt on, and then you start the car, or some cars let you start it first while you're walking up to it. But when you build a car, you don't start with the key, right? You start with the chassis and you put the motor in and you put the wheels on, and then, and the seat and the seatbelt, they're one of the last things. And the key is probably one of the most last things. So you can see that the build is slightly different to the experience, okay? So in regards to the experience, the first thing you want to do is, when you've now created this PDF, you've got to think about how the goal is, how do I get it in front of people. All right. Now, this could be all sorts of people, from groups to Facebook ads to YouTube to LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok. Where is the community or the group of people that you're going to put this freebie in front of? So, if we think about groups, if you were paying for marketing on Facebook, that is a group of people. If you're at a conference and you're speaking on stage, it's the audience that is the group of people. Okay? If you're at a conference and you're talking to people in where you're all having lunch, that's a group of people. In Facebook, you've created a group. That's a group of people. All right? So you've got to think about, and this is really stage 4, which is the messaging and marketing that you use to put it in front of people. Okay? So that's what that one would be. But now we have to put them into some technology, because technology is going to help look after these beautiful humans. Now, the first thing you're going to build is a landing page. Okay? And on this landing page, you're going to ask for a name and an email address, right? So that you can send an email. So that's the very first step, is to get a name and an email address. So in essence, that's your first goal, right? Is to get an email address, because that is an action a human has taken. All right. Now, once they give you their email address, then we're going to send them to a thank you page. It's another landing page. So once they submit their email address, they end up on a thank you page. And on this thank you page, I love to put a little video that says, awesome, you've downloaded your free resource. And then you're going to give them a call to action. What is the next step towards you? I usually put a little button here, right? And on that button, we then are asking, a little pop-up comes up, and I ask for an additional piece of information, which is now a phone number. And what you're doing and what you're giving away in your call to action, so your CTA, is one of two things. You ask them to give up a little bit of their time, or you ask them to give up a little bit of their money. Okay? Now, they've downloaded something for free. The next little goal we've gotten from them is to get them to put in their phone number. That's an action a human has taken. And we're asking them to give up a little bit of time or a little bit of money. Now, in order to do that, what they do is they click on this little button here. They fill in their phone number. There's a reason why we squeeze this little phone number out, and that'll be, we'll discuss that soon. And then we send them to one of two things. Okay, so if you're asking them to give up a little bit of their time, you will send them to a calendar booking page. All right, so they're going to book on their calendar a little bit of time. And usually I do anything from sort of 15 minutes to 60 minutes. It really depends on the price of your offer, on how much time you're asking them to give up. All right, or the second thing you can give up is a little bit of money. So when they click on the button and enter their phone number, because remember, we've already got their email address and their name from the previous step. The other thing you'll do is you will send them to a checkout. So if they are buying, then you're going to get them to part with a little bit of money, next step, from anywhere from $1 up to sort of the $47 mark. I call it like the no-brainer, right? You don't have to ask permission to to spend that amount of money. It's kind of like when you're at a checkout and they've got all those lollies and, those tempting things in front of you just to spend that little bit of money. It's a little bit like that. It's got to be enticing and feel like the next logical step in the process. All right. Are you all still with me? Get out those tippy tap fingers and let me know. Awesome. All right. So that's the first one. And again, if they take the calendar booking and then they actually book an appointment in the calendar, then they've booked a one-on-one. Again, that's an action a human has taken. Or if they go to the checkout to purchase, then they're going to spend some money, and that's another goal, which is an action a human has taken. Make sense? Yes? Awesome. All right. Now, it does not stop there. You see, when we're building out our automation, what I've just shown you is what's called the fast path. Okay, there are 3 rules when you're building out your automation. Always build a fast path, right? It gives people the chance to say, yes, I'll give you my email. Yes, I'll give you my phone number. Yes, I'll book an appointment, or yes, I'll make a purchase. Right? That's a nice fast path. The second rule is always build a slow path. So what if they don't give us the phone number? What if they don't book an appointment? What if they get to the checkout and don't purchase? That is where we build in the slow path. And the third rule is no dead ends. So an example of a dead end would be that they opt in and give you their email address. They get to the thank you page and then there's nothing. It just says, thank you, or go check your email. What's happening is that's a dead end, right? The chances of them then going and checking that email is pretty slim, right? Remember, only 20% of your people are going to read the email. But even if you leave that, it's one of the most underutilized parts of a funnel. People forget to put an offer of some sort on that thank you page. So remember, always ask them to give up one of 2 things, time or money. All right. So now what? Let's start talking about the slow paths. All right. So they have come to this opt-in landing page just here. All right. They've put in their name and their email address. And of course, they're expecting to get their PDF. So what we want to do is we want to build an automation, which is a series of emails. Now, this was my very first ever automation. It's a series of 5 emails, and I call it the give, ask. The give and ask sequence. All right. So in the first email, they have on the opt-in page requested the PDF or the gift that you're giving them in order for them to give you their email address. In return, you're going to give them a gift. So the first email is delivering the gift. Okay, so we deliver the gift. The next thing we do is we give, in the second email, we give them more love. We continue to help them. If they've had a little bit of help from that PDF, we want to check in with them. How did you go? What did you like best? And here's another little thing to help you. So we're going to give a little bit of love in that second email. The third email, again, we're going to help them, but we're going to build a bridge between the free offer and whatever it was that you offered on the thank you page, especially for those people who did not get past the thank you page. They got to the thank you page and they didn't go any further. So what we're doing is we're saying, okay, now I've helped you twice. Here's a third little bit of help, and hang with me because I've got an even better thing in the coming email. So we're building a bridge to the fourth email. And on the fourth email, we're asking. We're going to get your ask into gear. All right. And in here, we're going to ask them to give up their time or their money. Okay. It's exactly the same as pushing them to here so that we can get their phone number out of them. Okay. And then The final one is we add scarcity. So this is supposed to be a should have used a timer. There we go. So in the fifth email, scarcity, which means the offer's going away. My calendar's filling up. I've only got 5 spaces left. This special offer of that $1 to $47 is only available for the next 24 hours. We add some kind of scarcity. Okay, it has to be authentic and it has to be real, but we add some scarcity there. Now, all of this is automated. How cool is that? Right? You've got to write the emails the first time, but after that, it's all automated. So after the human has taken that action and given you their email, now we have the automation for this gap between when they've opted in, right, and the thank you page if they never went past the thank you page. So we're pushing them back to the thank you page in those last 2 emails. All right, we got this? Fabulous. All right, let's keep moving on to the next step. So the next step, the goal was now they've landed here on the thank you page, okay, and they have given us their email, their phone number. And when they've given us their phone number, they have ended up either on a calendar booking page or at a checkout. All right, they've initiated the checkout. Now, what happens if they don't go any further? Well, this is where we build another automation. So in this automation, I call this the 9-step follow-up. It's one of the best shower thoughts I've ever had. We've had it turned on and literally we've had to turn it off, and we've had clients having to turn it off because they end up with so many leads they can't keep up with the amount of appointments. Because statistically, people don't follow up enough. Do you follow up enough? Come on, be honest with me. If you set up a funnel like this, where you're giving away a free PDF or a free training of some sort, how many times after that do you actually follow up? Most people, 1, maybe 2. Now, statistically, if you want a conversion, you've got to follow up between 9 to 12 times. And most people don't do that. Now, I have one which we call the 9-step follow-up, which is actually 9 automated follow-ups and then 3 human follow-ups. So there's actually 12. So it gives us our full 9 touch points. But I'm going to show you the automated component of that. So we've collected their email address and their name, and also now we have their phone number. So now we've got their phone number. We wait about 30 minutes to allow them time to book an appointment, right? Another action a human has taken, another goal, or to make that purchase. But if they don't, then we don't want to leave that gap, right? We want to have no dead ends. So we're going to build another slow path. And that is, after 30 minutes, we'll send them a text message and say, hey, I saw you looked at the calendar, but you didn't book. Was there not a suitable time? Or, hey, I saw you got to the checkout and you didn't purchase. Maybe you can give them a little discount, okay, to really entice them across the line. So I send both a text message but an email as well within 30 minutes. And then every day we continue with emails and a couple of extra text messages. So we do an email and so in total we're going to have 3 emails, 1 text message and then 2 emails. And then we're going to do that again. And we're going to do that again. So we end up with 9 follow-ups. It goes text message, email, email, text message, email, email, text message, email, email. All right, I send them about a day or so apart. It usually goes out around sort of 10 to 12 days. We're literally just saying to them straight up, we know you've looked at this thing. You've either not booked an appointment or not made a purchase. All right, so this again is automated. So we have no gaps. So once they give that phone number here, right, that's where we end up in the 9-step follow-up. And what are we doing with all of these? Well, we're pushing them, all of these, back to one of the two things, the calendar booking or the checkout, because they've already opted through the thank you page with that phone number. We don't need to send them there any longer. We just send them straight to the booking or straight to the checkout. All right. Then once they do an action, which we really want them to do, which is either book an appointment or make a purchase, again, we automate. If they have booked an appointment, we don't want them to not show up, right? Because that's a gap. They forget that they booked the appointment. So what we're going to do is we're going to, when they first book the appointment, we're going to send them a text message and an email to confirm that they've booked. So we're getting them from both sides saying, hey, you've got this appointment at this time. We can't wait to see you. And then give them something to do while they wait. And then we're going to continue with a series of reminders. So another email and another text message. And I love to send out the last text message just before they arrive. Okay, so we have a series of 2 text messages. So it goes text, email, email, text, email, email. Okay, and we automate this. We set up that so that they get the reminders and they don't miss the appointment. We give them a little something to do while they wait. We good? Okay, now the final one is if they give up a little bit of their money. If they've given up a little bit of their money, we then want to push them to a higher offer. Now, you can send them to a higher priced offer, or if you've got a higher priced offer that requires you to have a conversation with them, you can send them to the calendar booking, right? But once they make a purchase, it's a good idea. If you want to, you could send a text message to confirm the purchase, right? And then you need a confirmation email. And then I like to do a series of follow-up emails to check how they're going, okay, after the purchase. And after the purchase, we've got to think about where are we going to send them next? Are we going to get them to give up more time, right? That's meant to be a clock. Or more money. That would be another goal at the end. So here is the funnel that I have built, filled, and sold my program using. And it looks a little messy here on screen, but at the end of the day, it's about 3 landing pages, okay? You've got your opt-in landing page, your thank you landing page, and then either a booking page or a checkout page on the final one. So you've got 3, okay? And then the slow path is delivery after they have filled in their name and email of the offer. So the gift, give them more value, build a bridge, give them an offer, and then scarcity. Then once you get the phone number, we've got the 9-step follow-up. Now, 9-step follow-up is optional. Like, get it turned on just with the first 5 emails and then come back and add the 9-step follow-up. Then, of course, reminders when you make the sale or when you do the booking. You need the reminders so that you have no dead ends. And you want to continue to measure and optimize as your people are going through the funnel. So when you're looking at the opt-in landing page, we want 20% of the eyes that hit that landing page to actually give you their email address. If you're under 20%, this is the first place after you've measured those numbers that you start to optimize. But do not change too many things at once, because if you change 5 things, you don't know which thing is working. So you got to change one thing and then wait and let more traffic flow through. So wherever you get that traffic from, okay, conferences, Facebook ads, groups, YouTube ads, TikTok ads, whatever it is. Okay. Then on the thank you page, you want you to continue to measure those numbers. And then when they get onto the sales call, for example, if you're not closing at least 20% on your sales calls, minimum 20%, I'd like to see you much higher than that. You've just got to learn a skill, sales skills, right? How to have a conversation. If you're not converting on the offer page to a checkout, then it might be the way in which you've messaged the offer. What did you say in the video? Was it enticing? Were the emails pushing them back in a way that felt congruent with the offer? All right. But this is honestly the most simple funnel to build. Sure, I could say just create a landing page and deliver a freebie, grow your email list, but that's not doing you a service. Sure, it's simple steps. One landing page, one thank you page, deliver the freebie. But remember, the rules when you're building an automation is always build a fast track, but most importantly, always build a slow track and no dead ends, because not everybody is ready to say yes to you when they first meet you, especially if you're in the coaching niche, right? People want to get to know, like, and trust you before they buy. This is why we build the automation. And if we look back here at this graphic that I've done for you, the only thing that becomes manual for you after all of this is built is if you want to do 3 additional phone calls here, right, to reach out and be a human talking to a human, okay? You can add 3 additional ones in there. Here, where you've turn up at this end after all the automation, you turn up and you do the one-on-one, okay? Out of all of this, it's the only things that are really manual. And then sometimes at the very beginning of the funnel, it could be manual if you're doing organic, trying to get in front of groups. But if you look at everything else, it's all automated. Pretty cool, right? This is why I call my technology my team in a box. Now, if you would like all of the templates, all the email templates, all the landing page templates, then feel free to reach out to us, because we do already have those, and they've been tested and we know what converts really well in regards to layout and design. Of course, messaging is something that will always be tweaked on your end, but we've got all the marketing and automation stuff ready to go and just kind of push across to you. That's something we can certainly do. Or you could seriously just take this and model it, model success. This is one of the most easiest funnels to build, to be totally honest, but it's not just basic. There are the gaps that we've filled for you. So there are no dead ends and there are a slow path of automation, so that you've got this whole follow-up system happening for you. Sound good? All right, if you're out there on the live stream, drop a comment in the chat, or if you're listening to this on the podcast or on the replay, let me know what's your biggest aha from today. Did you realize that you could automate all of this? Did you understand that, you only 20% of people will read that PDF? There's a reason why we don't change the PDF. And I can give you a prime example of this. I had a client who was a fashion designer, or a consultant. Sorry, she helped people dress based on their body shape and style. And what happened was we had her PDF designed, and we were running a little bit of paid marketing to fill the funnel. And she was getting about 10 emails a day. And you would think, hey, that's pretty cool, right? 10 emails a day. Oh, I can live with that. But when I looked at the numbers, I knew something wasn't working. So we just kept tweaking the messaging. And it took us about 3 or 4 attempts. And then one day we added the word perfect. Dress for your perfect body shape. This one word went from 10 emails a day to 400 overnight, right? It was only because we stopped and we measured what mattered. We could see that something wasn't right. We had a lot of people looking, but not many people clicking. But as soon as we added the word perfect, especially in the fashion field, Everyone wants to kind of look perfect, right? It was that one word that transformed the funnel from 10 emails to over 400 overnight. And eventually, because she had the 9-step follow up in there, we ended up having to turn off the funnel because she could not keep up with the amount of one on one bookings she was getting from the funnel. All right, there we go. So, if you're not growing your email list, please make it a priority in your business. The money is in the list. I believe it so much that I even had stickers made up for it. The money is in the list. And that list is a list of beautiful humans who have raised their hand and said, hey, that thing that you help people with, I think I might need help. And they give you their email address. And then you can start building a beautiful, long-term, nurtured relationship with them till eventually some of them will raise their hands and say, yes, I also want to pay and cut a check for speed to get that help faster. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today on Strategy with Sally. Let me know out there, wherever you're listening to this, what your key takeaway is. If you're listening to this on the podcast or on YouTube, take a screenshot and tag me over on Instagram where you're listening and what your biggest takeaway is. And also, look, if you could share a little bit of sparkle love, I would love it if you could leave a review for the podcast. You can just head to Apple or wherever you listen to your podcasts and leave a review for us. That would be sharing some sparkle love. I would absolutely, really, really appreciate that. But until next week, make sure you join us every week, same time, 9 a.m. Melbourne time, live streaming on YouTube, so you can join in the conversation. And we're going to do some Q&A now with our paying clients. So if you're a paying client, come on in. We're about to do some Q&A, and I'll be with you today until all questions are answered. All right, have a great one, guys, and I will see you. Oh, first off, before I go, I want to thank everybody who has sent me messages and, heartfelt love and everything over what's been going on for the last sort of week and a half. I've met my biological father for the very first time in 41 years. He left when I was 4, haven't physically been in the same room as him or seen him, and really didn't talk to him pretty much most of my life. And I met him for the first time. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there. If you've been following me for a little while, you may have heard some of the news. I'm not in the right headspace to share anything more with you right now about that all. But once I do, as you all know, when I get to the other side and I've figured all that shit out, I definitely share the stories so that I help to inspire you as well if you're stuck in anything that you're trying to figure out in life. Thank you, everybody, again for joining me. I'll see you next week. I will be back, and we will catch up then for Strategy with Sally. And if you're on the podcast, thanks for listening.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And